If you're carrying credit card debt right now, there's a good chance that the bank is making more money off of you than you are working for yourself. And the scary part is that most people never actually escape credit card debt. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to break the cycle and get out of credit card debt for good. So comment down below, what is one habit you need to stop if you want to get out of credit card debt? For me, I normally zero my cards every month, but I will say I definitely need to eat out less. I need to go out to restaurants a lot less and cook more from home. So let's jump into why credit card debt is so dangerous. Now, credit cards themselves aren't evil, but high interest debt is, and the average credit card APR is between 20 and 30%, which is super high. And so every time you have money on a credit card, that is money that is working against you, and compounding is happening, but not in your favor. So a quick example of this is if you have a $5,000 balance, and let's say you have a 25% APR, if you are paying minimum payments on this, it will take years to pay off, and it could be thousands of dollars that you're losing in interest. And different banks and lenders, they love minimum payments because what it does is it keeps you trapped longer and they earn interest every single month. And the thing that's so difficult when it comes to credit cards is that if you want to ever get a loan for a car or a house, you have to have a credit score. And in order to build up your credit score, you have to show that you can borrow money and pay it back in a timely manner and pay it all off. And so somebody with a lower credit score is going to have a higher interest rate because the lenders are going, hey, you do not have a good track record of paying off debt. Therefore, we are going to basically give you a higher interest rate because it is more risk to us. So it is very important to have a good credit score and a good interest rate. And when you get trapped in the credit card cycle, this can lower your credit score, which then causes you to have to get higher interest rates. And so if we can avoid this altogether, or if we can climb out of this hole, this is going to be very good for you long term. And credit cards can be such a trap too, because you can just spend money right now and not have to think about it for 1, 2, 3, 6 months. Like, it's basically money that is at your fingertips, except you don't have to deal with the repercussions until later. But when those come around, they can definitely bite you in the ass and just make your life hell. So let's try to avoid getting into credit card debt in the first place. But in order to do that, I do want to explain why minimum payments are going to be keeping you broke. And the main reason for this is because minimum payments mostly go towards interest. It is actually barely touching the principal. So if you're sitting there paying a $25 minimum payment every month, you're not really moving the principal down. And the principal is the amount that you want to get rid of in order to zero your credit card. So you can sit there and keep paying the minimum payment, but in reality, you're just paying off the interest. And if you want the credit card debt to go away, you have to pay down the principal as well. And so honestly, you'll feel like just a hamster stuck in the wheel because you're sitting there running, you're trying as hard as you can, but nothing's actually happening. The balance is barely moving and the interest keeps compounding. And for a lot of people, this is going to create a ton of frustration, a lot of stress, and eventually people just give up and they say, you know what, screw this. And so if you only pay the minimum, you are going to be just having a lot of stress long term. So try to pay more than the minimum if you can. And step one to getting out of credit card debt, it's going to be uncomfortable. Okay, you're going to have to sit down and list every credit card you have. You're going to have to sit down and write out what is the balance that you have on the credit card, what is the interest rate, and what is the minimum payment. Yes, this absolutely sucks. And yes, this will make you feel pretty bad about yourself. But the reality is you're confronting something so that you can tackle it and you will not have to worry about it later on. And the only way to figure out how to pay off your credit cards and build a strategy for doing so is by sitting down and looking at basically what I said, the balances on all your cards, the interest rates, as well as the minimum payments. And honestly, you're never going to pay off your credit cards if you don't actually do this. Like, a lot of people tend to avoid this, but the more clarity you have, the more control you will have over the situation. The mindset I would try to stick with here is that you can't fix what you refuse to look at. So yes, it's uncomfortable, but you just got to kind of confront yourself, look at the credit cards, write it down, and start to get organized, and let's talk about a plan. And so when talking about strategies with paying off credit card debt, there are two methods. There is the Snowball method and there is the Avalanche method. So explaining the two differences here, the Snowball method focuses a little bit more on the psychology of things, where the Avalanche focuses more on the math of things. Now, whatever you pick, I do not care. Just try to pay off your credit cards with either method. I also wanted to point out that the Snowball method is the exact same one that Dave Ramsey uses. So if you ever hear people talk about Ramsey's baby steps, that is the Snowball method, at least in regards to paying off debt. So let's pretend that you have 3 credit cards. Let's pretend that one of them is $2,000 in balance, one of them is $5,000, and one of them is $10,000. With the Snowball method, all you do is you start off by paying off the smallest balance first. So you'd pay off the $2,000 card, and then you would work to pay off the $5,000 card, and then the $10,000 card. With this method, you are ignoring interest rates, but you do build momentum fast, because once you pay off that $2,000 card, any interest or monthly payments that you had with that card, you no longer have. So that additional money that you're saving every month, you now get to use towards paying down the $5,000 card. And then once you pay off the $2,000 and the $5,000, now you're saving even more interest, because you're saving all that money. Let's say you're paying $10 in interest on the $2,000 card. Well, you're getting that $10 back. Let's say you're paying $25 or $30 in interest on the $5,000. Now you're you're getting that money back as well. So all this money you're saving, you can use towards the next card. So it definitely builds up a lot of momentum, and it is very good for people who just need a little bit of motivation there. So that is the Snowball method. Now let's talk about the Avalanche method. This one focuses more on the most optimal thing, which at the end of the day, just do whatever is best for you. If you want to do the Snowball method, do it. If you want to do Avalanche, go for it as well. So let's actually look at the interest rates on all three of these cards. So let's pretend that the $2,000 credit card balance has, let's say, a 22% interest rate. Let's say the $5,000 card has a 20% interest rate, and let's say the $10,000 card has a 24% interest rate. Well, the method that you would go with is paying off the highest interest rate first, and then you work towards the next lowest and the next lowest. So instead of going from the smallest balance to the largest, you go for the largest interest rate down to the smallest. That is basically the order in which you do it. The reason this method works really well is that you pay off the highest interest rate first, which is really good because regardless of the balance, that is, again, the highest interest rate. So you're getting that out of the way. And you also will get momentum with this because you're going to be saving money on interest, but it does save more money long term. But this one does require a lot of discipline because let's say that $10,000 balance is, 24% or 28%. Let's pretend that's the highest interest rate. Then it's going to be pretty hard. You got to be disciplined here to pay that off. It's a lot less motivating than just paying off the $2,000 and then the $5,000. And so yes, it'll take time, even if you're throwing $25, $50, $75 at it. But if you can just pick one of these methods and stick to it, it will definitely result in you paying off that debt a lot quicker than you realize. You may be asking yourself, well, which one is better? I mean, psychologically, the Snowball method is better, but if you're looking at the math and what is more optimal, technically the Avalanche method is better. But in my opinion, the one that is better is the one that you're actually going to do and stick to. And most people tend to fail with this because they're trying to choose the perfect method and they'll just quit after a month or two. And you have to be patient, disciplined, and super consistent in order for this to work. And my honest opinion here is whatever gets you to zero out all those credit cards and you're not in the trap in the hole anymore, do that. And in case this is not clear, the main thing that you have to do that will speed everything up is that you must stop adding new debt. If you've gotten yourself into a lot of credit card debt, you have to stop using your credit cards in any way possible that you can. Because if you don't and you keep adding new debt, it's the equivalent to like filling up the tub while you're draining it. Like you're trying to fill a pool while there's a hole in it. It's not going to work at all. And so a couple of things that you can do, and I know some of these might sound crazy, is you can literally lock your cards away, like put them away. I've heard of some people actually freezing their credit cards, like just putting it in a block of ice and freezing it. Or maybe you keep your card, but you put it in a different part of your wallet and you only use your debit card, your checking account, you use cash. You do not use any type of debt to pay for anything. Because the reality is that you can't outpay bad habits. So if you just keep opening up new lines of credit as you're zeroing out the other cards, you're not actually learning here. You're just, like I said, you're filling the tub while draining it. That's the best way to put it. And so when talking about the right way to use credit cards after you pay off your debt, the way I view it is that a credit card should just be a tool. It should not be a lifestyle. Try to have different habits of using your credit card so that you either pay the balance in full every month, you never carry interest, and you honestly just treat it like a debit card. And this is something I try to do is every couple of days, I'm always zeroing out my credit card. And to be honest, if the credit cards are a huge pain to you, try to just build up your credit score and use your credit cards as little as possible. I even know some people that still do this. They really just hate credit cards. The psychology of them always gets them in trouble. So they just barely use them, keep a good credit score, and then just mainly use their debit cards. And so if you can use a credit card right, which I know for a lot of people that is extremely hard, and I completely understand. I mean, it really is a trap. Like even when you swipe your card, you don't actually see the payment hit your credit card balance until a couple of days later. Or when I go to zero my credit card, I don't see that I've zeroed it out for a couple of days. So little things like that psychologically just make it seem like the money's not hitting the card immediately, which is kind of annoying to me. And not only that, like I said before, the APR and the interest that you're paying on credit cards is between 20 to 30%. So it is extremely high. If you are asking yourself, hey, should I invest this month or should I pay off credit card debt? The answer every single time is to pay off credit card debt because that interest rate is just so damn high. And this is not all debt. This is mainly credit cards that I'm talking about. There's a lot of different scenarios where we can talk about arbitrage and trying to optimize things. But in regards to credit cards, you always want to be zeroing them out. So going back to the benefits, if credit cards are used right, one of them is that you can get cash back. The next one is that you do have fraud protection. So for example, if somebody charges your card and you did not do it, you can call the bank or whoever it is that owns the card and say, hey, this was not my transaction. They are way more likely to look into it than if you do that with a debit card. Because again, with the credit cards, you're technically borrowing money. So it is their money that they're going to try to track down for you. And then the last thing and the biggest benefit is that your credit score will look good and you can get credit score growth. So even if your credit score is very low right now, as you start to pay off your cards, and if you can show that, hey, I consistently can hold a balance on my card, I can zero it out, and I'm very good at that, then your credit score will go up over time. And a simple test with the credit cards is that if you can't pay it off this month, then you can't afford it. That's something my dad actually taught me, so I've just been kind of using that method for years. So if there's any way you can find an extra $20, $30, $50 a week to pay down your credit cards, before you know it, once you pay off those balances, you're going to be saving a ton of money in interest every single month. And what a lot of people miss is that you definitely want to build an emergency fund if you can. If you can build up $500 to $1,000, this can prevent new debt when life happens, because things are going to happen to you. If you don't want to put it on your credit card, then if you have that emergency fund, it can definitely give you a little bit of a cushion there. It's much better to pull from the emergency fund than to swipe the credit card. That's the way I view it, at least. And with credit cards, small wins matter. Try to track your progress. See, hey, my balance before, it was $2,000 last month. Now it's $1,800. The month after that, it's $1,600. And you will see it go down month after month. And that will give you a ton of motivation. So if you can track it as well, that's definitely going to help you. So definitely celebrate the small wins. And every credit card balance that you pay off, that is freedom that you're earning. That is you just getting a weight off your shoulders, being able to breathe again. It is a great feeling. And I don't want to sit here and tell you that you have to eat ramen and rice for every month. You got to go beans and rice every month and you can't enjoy your life. You absolutely can, but within reason, live within your means if possible. Because if you don't, then you're going to get a pretty rough credit card balance. And then before you know it, you're paying 20% a year to the banks and you're just stuck in the trap again, which is what we want to avoid. And I do feel like paying off credit cards, it's not about punishing yourself and living, like I said, extremely frugal and like reusing napkins and going to the most extreme form of frugality, but it's about just trying to get freedom back for you. It's about buying your future back, creating some breathing room, and reducing stress. I think credit card debt is one of the biggest forms of stress for a lot of people out there. And if you can imagine a future where you have no payments, you have extra cash in your pocket every month because you're not paying those interest payments, and you finally get control over your money again, this will give you a lot of confidence and reduce a lot of stress and will help you get towards your financial goals that you want to reach. And so one thing I do want to reiterate is that credit card debt does not mean you're bad with money. It just means that no one ever taught you the rules, and now you know exactly how this works. So that is it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like down below, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.